How was it out there with the hand operating?
It was different. I just tried to execute, the game plan going in. Just kind of think a little bit more communication, play with a little bit more with my feet, and just try to grit it out. So.
Because all week the players talked about you being inspiration, the energy you brought to practice, what you went through. Can you just talk about what the week was like for you?
I don't know if inspiration really comes from me. I think it was just, a long week from all of us. For me, I wanted to play, in the Minnesota game. Is we kind of get it back to where it needed to be. I kind of just heard, what happened, and it kind of, hurt me a little bit. But it's really just guys, busting their tails every day, and just coming in, with their hard hats and getting back to work. So I mean, if I can do my part, they'll do theirs, and that's how you come together.
Are you able to detail, I guess, what the process was like after you left the game in Minnesota? And just
it was it was just like a routine run play. Just felt my hand kind of snap a little bit, but it's kind of normal at O-line, and then tried to shake it off, and then I felt something wasn't moving. And then I looked down, and I was like, oh, that's not supposed to be like that. And then I tried to, like in the movies, kind of like reset it myself, and then I flipped my hand over, and I saw some stuff sticking out, and I was like, yeah, that's not right. And then I just, tried to run to the sidelines, but the ball was already placed, so I came back, played the next snap, and then ran to the sidelines. Tyler came in for me, and then in the tent it was pretty gruesome in there. It wasn't ideal, but we did, everyone did what they could do. It just wasn't ideal to go back. And then we just, went to the hospital, and then, they did a fantastic job over there. A lot of drugs were involved. I'm not a big fan of that, but it had to be done. My parents, they supported me through the whole thing too. I mean, they were there, every step of the way. And then, just came back, to the locker room, and, it's not, what we wanted.
Is it middle finger, index?
Index, knuckle area.
Did you know you had a chance to play, like, as soon as they casted you up, or did you have to wait?
Yeah, I mean, that was the plan. My plan was from the tent, if they could get it back in, I was going to play, but, surgery was needed to get it right. But, I mean, I owe it to this team and everything I have, to play for them and, to play for this O-line and, play for that quarterback.
We see defenders always play with clubs, and I guess how difficult is it for offensive line when it's such a, I guess, like a handy position?
Yeah, I mean, you just, there's a little bit more thinking involved. You don't want to be thinking as an offensive lineman, you just want to just play. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a finger, it's just a hand, just play ball.
How do you feel like the line responded? I mean, Gunner doesn't go, and then Teddy gets hurt. Like, what was that whole process like? How do you feel like they?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of just a next man up mentality. This whole week. It was a long week for us. We know that. But it's just back to work. Tomorrow. That's kind of our process now.
How does it feel now? Your finger, and what did it take? Like, what was the feeling for you like during the game, playing with it?
Feels great. Feels great. Not really much I can say on that.
So. What was your perspective on Kenneth's touchdown return and what that brought to you?
That's a great offensive drive. I'm just going to say that. Those offensive drives are nice. But I mean, credit to him. He finally got one in the end zone this time, and I'm proud for him.
As an O-line, to only give up the one sack compared to what happened in Minnesota, just how big was that for you guys offensively and as a group?
Yeah, I mean, we just really gritted down this week. Went back to basics. Our preparation started with Coach Raiola. And everyone pointed at the thumbs themselves. I mean, it's not just one guy; it's a collective group. It's 5 as one, and we just had to believe in what we were doing and what's being taught, and guys just executing when the time comes.
You played a lot of late season football in your career. What's the challenge as the calendar turns to November about what it takes to?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to lose a lot of guys. I mean, that's part of football. It's just the next guy has to be ready at all times because you don't know when the number's going to be called. And then just building momentum. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I mean, there can't be drop-offs, but there has to be a lot of areas to clean up to continue to make strides.
Coach said that Teddy's injury might be pretty serious. What is your relationship been like with him? What does he mean to this line since the time he got here?
I mean, I don't know if him or Gunnar Petula love Nebraska more than anybody else. They know everything from dating back from the 40s of every coach. So to lose him is detrimental to our team and to our group. But knowing him, Teddy's a fighter, and he'll continue to fight. On and off the field for us.
Y'all gave the game ball to him. Whose idea was
It was Coach Rules, but I mean, really collectively as a group, it was from all of us.
How meaningful was that?
I mean, from us, I mean, the guy, battled, multiple ACL surgeries, shoulder surgeries, and, for him to grit his way back to the field, for this program and, to lose him again is, heartbreaking. But I don't know the extent of his, injuries, so I'm sure he's going to find a way back.
39
Yes, Rocco?
39 of your 61 plays were run plays. Kind of an old school guy, being able to impose your will in football like that one too.
I mean, I love that. I mean, this, run the damn ball. That's kind of our mindset. But also, being able to protect the passer and defend the pocket is the biggest thing as well. But you just have to execute those routine runs. Get them called more often.
Thank you guys.
Thanks,
Rocco.
guys. Yep.